Sup, gamers? I'm here with returning guests Erica Lindbeck and Laura Post. Why don't you guys just very quickly introduce thyselves?
Who goes first?
Milady, you go first, please.
No. Okay, so I'm Laura Post, and I'm a voice actress, which so is everyone on this podcast. So, you may remember me from such roles as Kasumi Yoshizawa in Persona 5 Royal, and Catherine in Fire Emblem Three Houses, and other things.
Sick. My name's Erica Lindbeck. You might remember me from such roles as Luna in Hell of a Boss, Futaba Sakura in Persona 5. My mouth is full of pretzel right now.
I love it.
Are those the same peanut butter pretzels I had the last time I was at your place?
Absolutely.
Those are so good.
I know, dude, they're legitimately addictive. I was like thinking of other snacks I could have, and then I went, no, I must have those.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Those are, yes, I'm in a few other things for sure, but those are two.
Yeah,
cool.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And right off the bat, let's just kick it off. I asked Twitter for any suggestions on like what we could talk about, and you both definitely prepared beforehand, reading through all of them very carefully. But is there one? I'm gonna ask each of you. Is there one to start with? Who wants to start? Throw one out there.
Gosh.
I'll start with the how do you adjust character voices when you know you'll be playing multiple characters in the same show/game?
Sure.
Well, I would say a good example of this would probably be like League of Legends. I do Zoe, Talia, and Morgana in League of Legends. And I truly believe the only reason I booked those three is because they all sit in very different parts of my vocal register, right? So Morgana is super low. Yeah. Zoe is the highest I could possibly go, and Talia is like more mid-range.
Yeah. So
it's like, up here, down here, here. Like those are my three. That's like that was up, down, middle. For me, like if I'm having to vocally differentiate somebody, even if it's like a game, I feel like Laura and I, like a lot of the work that we do that people probably don't know about is running like utility in video games and stuff. Yeah. So it'll be like, you need to do 3 different characters that have the same line set. How are you going to differentiate them? Also age, right? It's an older woman, it's a younger kid, whatever. Or accents. Accents is another one. I can go, oh, well, can they be British? That's a common question that I ask. Is British allowed? Because at that point, even if you're in the same register, like it's harder to differentiate, or it's easier to differentiate the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were briefly talking before the podcast, and I did actually think it was an interesting question because like I mentioned to you guys, hearing about it from like an actress's perspective versus like a male actor's perspective, I was wondering like what the differences might be and what's expected of the different types of characters you might get asked to play, and if there was any differences. I did actually think it was kind of interesting. How about you, Laura?
Well, it's really nice when you're doing a wide variety of characters and you have like, okay, a grandma and a middle-aged teacher and a little kid and a little boy and a little girl. But I definitely, I think the show was Tokyo Revengers, but I could be wrong, where they went, okay, so there aren't a lot of girls in this show, so you're here to do the couple characters that came back that you're doing. And there's this scene where there's 5 high school girls. And you need to be all 5 of them, and they are all 5 talking to each other. And
that's like my nightmare.
I know. I was like, okay, well, you understand that there's only so much I can do, right? And it's like, yep. And I'm like, okay. So it was like, I went straight to like Rolodex and like tropes. So I was like, there was definitely the really sweet girl with the very breathiness and high up in the head voice. And then there was like this chick that was like over it and whatever. And there was like a textured kind of chick that was here. And then there was like the Genki girl, but you're like finding different tiny places to change it. And then also like texture is something you can use. Again, like even if you don't change the accent, because obviously I couldn't like make one British, but like some people talk further back in the mouth and some people talk more forward, or some people like might have like more refined vowels. You can kind of use that while still staying in an American accent. And it was just the one scene. Hopefully it wasn't too horrible.
What if you just made one of them aggressively British, Howard? What's all this then? Just
that
like
would be
completely.
Fantastic. I'm pretty sure they would have made me do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, all in the same scene is fucking tough.
Talking to each other. There was one other girl that played like two of the, because there were like a bunch of girls. There was one other actress that they were like, oh, we got these two with her. And I was like, that's great. One was like kind of the mean girl, valley girl, I remember now. So I had her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, what can you do?
I should also mention, because for Sungwon's, just I feel like it's very appropriate for this podcast, but Laura and I are actually Ellie and Nozomi in the Love Life dub. And I know that Sungwon is a Love Life fan, so he already knew
What's
that.
Love Life?
Oh, sorry. I mean, never mind. I'm sorry. I must have had the wrong Sungwon. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to mistake us. No, we'll get into Love Life in a second. But yeah, like I guess for me, yeah, I've definitely done utility a bunch, and like kind of like similar to Erica. I definitely approach it from like, how old are they, right?
Yeah.
How old, and then tweak with pitch. Usually they've been pretty good about, we give you a wide range so you're not sounding too samey.
Most times it's like that. And then there's the time where it's like play 5 girls talking to each other.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times in dubs too, where it's like 3 different girls, but luckily they're in the back, like generally in the background. I remember for Bungo Stray Dogs, I was double cast as both Akiko and Naomi, who are like pretty prominent characters. That one was pretty, but one of them was very, was an, oh yeah, I love you so much, like that, and then the other one was like, screw you, I hate you. Huh. So
that's totally fine. Yeah,
totally, exactly. They don't
Did they
ever
talk to each other?
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Cadence is another thing. I think like. Psychologically, when the characters are markedly different, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, which you can't always do in dubs, unfortunately. But yeah, the first time I ever had to do 2 teens talking to each other, and it was like early in my career, and I was like, oh, I only have the one teen voice. That's how you can tell it was early in my career. I was like, how can I make a second teen that will definitely differentiate from this one? And I was like, okay, I can slow her down. And I can have her speak with up inflection. So like the one girl would be like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then the other one was like this. So at least you could always tell who was talking.
You also have the benefit of a different character design for both. So it's a little harder. Like when you're just watching it, not knowing that it's the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so
That's when
different.
you're lucky enough to have the character designs.
Right.
As you both know with games, it's just like,
oh yeah,
I hope this character looks like
how I'm thinking
the
they do.
How they sound.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even know. Sometimes they're like, we don't know what this character is going to look like.
Literally, XCOM Chimera Squad, I did not know I was voicing a snake. I had no idea that she was a snake. Yeah, I knew she was an alien, but they just didn't say anything. And she just, I assumed she was like a more humanoid lady, but she's just a giant snake. Her name's Squirt. Yeah, and I did not know until I was like, did I miss something? No, I didn't miss anything. Like I looked back at the sides. I was like, no, didn't miss anything. She's just a giant snake.
Surprise.
So here's a question then. When you're brought in for utility, what are like the 5, like let's say 5 voices that are like, these are probably going to be in like, they're the ones in your pocket of like, okay, you're probably going to want one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this.
Like always, well, if I'm thinking about like incidentals in anime or whatever, but there's always, the mom. There's always kind of like this. I think everyone does this kind of super inflected character. And then, of course, there's always probably a little kid, Yeah. Oh, I'm laughing so much because I've run out of things to say. And then there would be probably the higher pitched girl, oh God.
Yeah, it also kind of depends on the show because you might have like a bunch of like soldiery types or like mage types if it's a fantasy.
Totally. Yeah, my other one would be, hey, I'm kind of a cool, I don't know what I am, but I'm just here and I'm hanging out. And then I don't know what my other one would be. Maybe something like this if I was in a fantasy game,
Exactly,
if I can't be British, then I'll be kind of British.
Then I'll be vaguely British.
Vaguely British.
Just sort of, not exactly. Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
If I'm being asked to do incidentals, I almost always have to pull out the deep voice for something. Whether
totally.
it's a manager, a boss lady, a working mom, who knows? But yeah. It always will come out because they'll be like, please do like 3 50-year-olds. Thank you.
Every time I'll try to fit this woman in, but they don't want her. They don't want Rhonda.
I want Rhonda.
You just throw it in every chance you get.
Literally, I try, and they're like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It just came out of me. You're just part of the creative process."
I think for me, it's like military guy, you know, like this sort of this default deep, you know, they hear deep voice, they want deep voice.
Yep.
And then they want like, oh, the more slightly cowardly guy. And then what else is there? Like usually some kind of like, I'm sure you also get like, you know, psychopath and like older folks, and I get older folks.
I don't know that I get psychopath too often.
I get psychopath quite a bit. Yeah. I had that little turncoat right in my hands, like that kind of shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, you know, a little more this, you know, like that.
Although
I
don't know that I do incidental psycho ladies.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's what I meant. Like as
Yeah.
incidentals, I don't know. In games too, just get pulled in for psychos.
Yeah.
The Yakuza games are always like,
Of
we need
course.
like a fucking psycho, but
Fair,
there's a
but
lot
they're
of,
usually
there's a lot
dude
of psycho
psychos.
men,
Yeah.
dude psychos in that.
Yeah. The girls are like always very hot, and that overrides the psycho generally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, I guess, yeah, like I said, for like, kind of like Erica said, you know, just age, pitch, it's generally, you know, they usually will tell you, you know, when you hit what they want.
I will say, my hackles always go up when they ask me to do an older woman, just because I do not. I can go basey. I can go like fantasy basey, but I can't go like actual. When they're like, this is actually like a 45-year-old mother, I'm like, guys, maybe an anime mother, but not like an actual. Because I'm over here like, it's so funny. My agent actually doesn't send me stuff because they have so many women that are so much basier than I am. They're like, you're not gonna book this because I mean, obviously fantasy, it's a little easier, but when it comes to something more realistic, like I can try, but I don't hit it. I sound like more like mid-20s. I can do early 30s, but generally it's not the older
I think we've
ladies.
talked about this, but I've not the same boat, and sort of the opposite end. I'm not going to book any kids, obviously. The only kids I'm booking are like prelay, like where it's, you know, definitely like you don't have to actually sound like a kid.
Yeah. Like the tone of the show is more like kids that are voiced by adults, kind of.
Even though you still can't just be me
it's
talking
affected,
like this.
but it's
like that I can definitely book. But if it's like the I've always called it the 12-year-old virgin anime boy, that's never going to be me, and that's okay.
That's a very specific pocket. I know a lot of guys who age themselves out of that pocket really, really quickly. Like, they just can't do it.
I mean, that's those are your protagonists, right? I mean,
protagonists?
You can get that protagonist work, but I'm good. Now, who brought that one up? Laura?
No, that was
you?
Eric. I would love to say that it was mine, and then I wouldn't have to do one. Ha ha ha.
But is there one
Erica's.
that you want to throw out there?
There is. I mean, it's not the happiest question in the world. At least my answer is not the happiest. But Meowson Lee was, since you guys are used to going in for auditions, knowing that you may or may not hear back for months, does going through the motions diminish the joy of landing a role at all? Which, no, I don't think it diminishes the joy of actually booking. But I will say that, like, auditions, when you're, like, fresh-faced and you're like, wow, I'm auditioning for this, and I auditioned for that, and I've got this audition. And now it's just like, yep, dude, just crank them out. You put in the same passion for the work and everything, but there's no, like, oh, my gosh, I'm reading on this, because you know that, like, you're rolling the dice, basically. It's
been super interesting for me because I think, like, by the time I met Laura, she had been in the industry for much. Like, when I was in college, I went to a panel that Laura was on. Like, that is... Yeah,
and
like,
now you're the actress that I aspire to be.
Oh my God, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I've been doing this for 7 years now, and I've now reached that point where people who are first starting are so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm like, I remember when I felt like that. Like,
yes.
Not that it's not fun. Like, I love
it's still super fun. Yeah,
I also love, like, I went in for an audition last week where I had to drive to a studio, and I walked in and I was like, what I really loved was what I love about it. It's a trade-off, right? Because again, I'm not so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I'm also not nervous anymore. Like, there's no room I walk into, I mean, barring a couple jobs where I'm like, oh my God, because when you've been in the industry for a long enough time, you start to realize no one role is going to make or break your career. The stakes are actually quite low if you really, really think about it. Like, if you're established, if you feel like you've got a good grind going, like, So then you that just allows you to like walk in, ask questions, have fun, and leave. Yeah. And that I would trade that for the like new actor nerves that I used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've described it before on this podcast as like when I go into like a booth, it's like going into like a very warm, comfortable, like almost like a swimming pool. Just like this is my element. You know, this is whereas before it was definitely like, oh fuck, like what am I doing here? You know, that sort of
like I don't belong here. They're gonna make me leave. Like anytime I'd start a new job, I'd be like, oh god, this is gonna go poorly, and they're gonna make me leave. They're just gonna go, this isn't working out.
What? Yeah. I mean, no, obviously you can't say what for, but was this a callback or just straight up audition?
No, it was just an in-person audition. Yeah, I just drove in to do it.
Was it like for like performance capture? So they wanted to like,
no, it was just a voiceover. It was a video game. Yeah. I was excited. I had to drive across town, but I was like, fun.
Whatever,
it's
adventure.
Fun. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I envy the old guard a generation or two before us that was the norm. Like, yeah, we get to audition for higher volume because we're recording from home, but like, I think it would be just so great, going to auditions and having that feedback live and being able to like make some adjustments with actual person that's familiar with the show.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
So you guys actually prefer going in for auditions?
100%. For me, at least.
Not every single one always. Like, that would get really old, like driving all over town. But some of the bigger ones, I'd love to be able to go in and I love people and I love making them laugh. And I just feel like I do really well when I have FaceTime with people. I really like talking to them. And like, the thing is too, like, I don't want to like toot my own horn or anything, but most things when I get an audition, I'm like, God, I could do it. I just need to know what you want. And sometimes I cannot glean that because a lot of these sides are like 8 different people putting their 2 cents in for a character that they don't even know what the end game is for. Yeah, and so you just kind of have to, and I'm over here like, I can do it. I'm sure a lot of us, echo that sentiment. But you're like, I can do it. I just need you to tell me. So when I go into an audition, it's so much easier.
Yeah,
to be like,
you can like give it a pass, and they can go, can you like make her 5 years younger? And you're like, absolutely, I can make her 5 years younger. But when you're
as opposed
at home,
to doing you're doing an audition, sending it in, and they're like, oh, it doesn't sound old enough or doesn't sound young enough. And I'm like, I could have done that. Yeah. I just didn't know. So you're kind of like, that's why I have the I'm just gonna do whatever I want vibe about doing auditions these days. I'm like, because there's no way, I'm not a mind reader. Like, I can't know. So I might as well just try to do something that makes me laugh and that I find interesting. And if they listen to it and they go, that bitch is crazy, who is that? And I'm not casting her for this, but I'll definitely remember her name. I'd rather have that than anything else.
Let me ask you this then, because do you still prefer it if it's, say, like in person versus like Zoom? Like a Zoom audition?
In person, I think.
I prefer in person over Zoom. I've done a couple Zoom things.
I'm just lazier than both of you.
I've done a couple Zoom things in, with the lockdown and everything, and I had a good time. But there's still a little. For me, doing the Zoom thing, it's like there's this extra little layer of like I have to be my own tech that. Just sort of sits.
I hate that.
I hate it.
See, I want to be a pretty little princess, walk into the booth and just read words good and have them fix it, as opposed to like recording for a AAA game and having to be my own engineer and going, oh my God, I'm monitoring my own audio. It also really impedes the performance. I'm sorry, it does.
No, it absolutely
there's
does.
no way around it. Like, you're in your dark booth. You're doing an accent. You're cold reading a script. And you're engineering your own session. Like, how is that an optimal environment to give a good read? Like, it's hard anyway. Like, what we do, I forget a lot because I beat myself up all the time. Like, I forget, like, what we do is really, really hard. It's not something that just anybody can go in and, and cold read an entire freaking script, 400 lines, whatever, like, and give a performance that sounds like a human. But yeah,
still
like,
working
it's
on that
really
myself.
I honestly, same sometimes. Some days, absolutely. But yeah, it's just tough, and like that added a layer. I mean, I got used to it. You adapt, you overcome. But it was really hard in the beginning. I was so reticent to accept what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I still push for in studio recording.
Oh my God, me too. The second I was able to, I was like, nope, I'll come in. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I I know everyone's got their fancy booths and everything, and I understand but I'm always, I was like, just bring me in. I don't care. I'll just go in. I can record if I must at home, but bring me in if that's an absolute option. I think, going back to the question, if we booked everything we always wanted, I think we might have like a different perspective, but because of the natural cycle of rejection that this job entails, like Laura said, the joy of landing a role I don't think goes away.
It does not. If anything, I think it gets even more.
It gets stronger because you're like,
oh my gosh,
I actually booked that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy with the odds. Like, I mean, I never pay attention to like the odds, quote unquote, but I've heard a couple times like this was 1 out of 400, this was 1 out of 500, whatever, and I'm like, how on earth do I even work? Like, how do I make a living doing this? Like, it's because even if you are good, there's probably like 30 other people for each role who would also be just as good as you. And I think that's what like keeps you on your toes, you know?
I've done a small amount of casting and directing, but boy, did that open my eyes for me as an actor. Because like, especially my first time casting stuff and getting auditions and going through them, I was like, wow, everybody's just like good. Because everybody I sent out to is good. So of course I don't have any like, oh, here's the one good person out of the 50 crap people. No, everybody was like amazing. So then you have to start like being really nitpicky over like stupid things. Not really stupid things, but it's like, well, this person, you just and you go, okay, so you can be giving like super quality performances. You can be making a really good impression and not get cast. There are people who have made really good impressions on me that I really want to cast as something that I still have not been able to, because it's just not the right thing, hasn't come along. And you hear it all the time from casting directors, but it's actually true.
Yeah, I remember like the anecdote I always tell is when I auditioned for, Thundercats Roar, which, it only lasted technically, I think it was like one big season, but that was like 52/11s on cable. Like that was huge for me. And I remember like I was so down and out about animation. This was like 4 years ago, I think, when I booked it. But like I had booked barely any animation besides like the Barbie stuff that I was doing because I'd just been like blanket cast as Barbie and I was doing the movies and stuff. But other than that, like I was not booking animation. Animation is really hard to suss out these days because there's so many different like genres, and they don't, oftentimes because things are NDA'd to hell, like you just don't know what the audience is or like what channel it's going to be on, or, et cetera, et cetera. There's just very few like markers for context. And I remember getting in the booth that morning and being like, I am not going to book this. I've never worked for Wes Gleason. Like he doesn't even know who I am. How on earth would I ever, whatever. But I did it, and I was really tired, and then I ended up booking it. And I remember walking in, and every other person in the cast had worked with him before. I had never. And he literally came up to me and he was like, Erica LINDBECK, you have been in my top 5 for so much stuff in the last 2 years. I'm so happy I finally get to work with you. And I just remember being so shocked because, again, like we're so isolated auditioning for this stuff that it just feels like it goes into an abyss and that nobody is listening. But if there's one thing I've taken away from, I'm a baby compared to a lot of people. I've only been doing this for 7 years, but it really does all add up. Like all those auditions that you think are doing nothing for you are and that's the thing, is that's why like you always have to put maximum effort into those things. You don't it's like if you're not going to give it the full shot, then don't send it in, because someone's going to listen to it and someone's going to know that you didn't give it your all, and that's not a good impression. So it's like all or nothing. Right. I hope that made some modicum of sense.
No, that absolutely makes sense. Your reputation will build up,
Exactly.
Like,
it'll all mean something.
In a lot of different capacities as well. Like if you're a shithead, that will also build up against you.
Yeah.
But but if you have are hardworking and they are listening to your auditions, right? They are getting a sense of you, even if you're not booking. I do think that is very, but it like you said, it's very difficult to sort of wrap your head around that, because you're like, well, I didn't get it. Well, it just went into a dumpster and nothing,
And like, listen, sometimes it does go into a dumpster. Sometimes they listen to your audition for probably
true.
2 seconds and they go, not for us, and they throw you out. Yeah. That's just the way it is.
But you never know. That's the thing. Yeah. And again, it's all just part of the job. Now, steering away from voice acting, how you guys been?
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Things have been a little stressful lately. Just bought a house, so really excited about that.
Congrats.
Oh my gosh, thank you. So we're closing, I think, officially tomorrow. Like I've done everything I have to do. I've like signed all the paperwork and all that, but that's been a lot. And one of my kitties got a little sick, but she's doing okay. It was just a lot of stuff at once, and I kept like, I'm really bad at compartmentalizing anxiety inducing things to begin with, but I just kept kind of compartmentalizing it, and then it just kind of all like bubbled over at a point, and now, you know, it's the holidays and stuff. I'm doing a lot better. Today actually is one of the first days where I'm like, oh, I actually feel nice. Like everything is coming to a resolution. And that is really nice.
I mean, it's because you got to talk to your favorite person, me, right?
Obviously, yes, of course, of course, yeah.
You're just looking forward to it the whole time. Yeah, I tweeted about it, but I recently played my 1,000th board game.
Yeah, that's
which
amazing.
will date this podcast, but that's fine. I don't give a shit about that.
That's fine.
And that was a big deal for me. Otherwise, yeah, it's for those of you listening, holidays are coming up, so this will be coming out quite a bit later.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's always people who listen to these are always like, "Oh, this was recorded 5 months ago, huh?" like they always kind of realize that. But it's interesting because they're kind of like time capsules. Like a lot of the earlier episodes, like maybe like the first, I don't know, 30 or something, are like, man, quarantine. Like everyone's talking about quarantine because we were all in quarantine. I remember there was one comment that was like, you haven't left your house? What are you doing? It's like, no, this was recorded like months ago.
There was another thing. There's another thing that I realized, to my horror and chagrin, is that, okay, so I'm very affected by my environment. Very, very affected by my environment. I like to control my environment, and I learned that, or I feel a lot mentally healthier when I'm controlling my environment, which is what happened during the pandemic, because I just wasn't seeing anybody. I was able to stay inside, like just hang out, eat a bunch of food, play Dead by Daylight every day. Like I was having a really nice time, and I considered myself an extrovert. I think people think that of me generally, unless I think maybe you know me really well, but I realized that I'm not. I am pretty introverted, and I getting yeeted back into life, in some semblance of life as it was before, has kind of like reverted me a little bit to this like anxiety-ridden, stressed out person who's very like affected by her environment and is now unable to control it because, you know, I suppose I could decide not to do conventions or see people or anything like that. I think it's just made me realize that I need to be much more judicious about who I spend my energy on and all that.
Sure. I think the best way to describe maybe like you and me is like friendly introvert, you know, like like in our I don't know. I feel like for me it depends on the day. Like I do thrive on like hanging out with people, but I guess like you said, I'm also very selective though.
You are. I agree. I really admire that about you. I feel like, Laura, you're very much the same way, actually.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, would you describe yourself as an extrovert or introvert?
No, I'm definitely an introvert. Since I've been a kid.
That's what I figured.
It's I'm also pretty selective about like who I let into like my close inner circle. But a lot of it's funny because at one point before quarantine, I would have people that were directed to me because they'd be like, hi, so-and-so sent me to you because they said that you'd be really good at giving advice on how to network. And I'm like, how did that happen? Because I, like, ever since I was a kid, it would be like, oh, I'm playing with my friends. And then I'd have a day where, like, I'd tell my mom to just tell people I was sick so that I could be alone because I needed an alone day or I was going to explode.
That's amazing that you had the, like, foresight to know that, like to know that you
just
like,
know
to know
that you
yourself so well.
I don't know. It's like I just want to sit in. I mean, I was pretty young, but I'd be like, I just want to sit in the basement and play with my Barbies today. That's all I want to do, and I don't want to be bothered by anyone else, or eventually play video games all day. You know, I just want to be like turned off.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that was an option until very recently. Like, I thought that I just had to go do everything with everyone who ever wanted to do anything with me.
Well, see, I had the added bonus of being incredibly unpopular as a child, so it was really only like 2-3 friends that would have to get turned away.
I see.
Yeah.
Their loss. Now,
Jeez.
I guess the way to describe myself is like, you know, if I'm with people that I really enjoy being around, then I thrive. Then I'm like,
Same.
I love hanging out with, you know, these people, and but I'm not that person that's got to like just. I've always described myself, if I'm at a party, I am not that guy who's like, hey everyone, look at me. Like, I gotta, you know, I tend to definitely, if I don't know people, I tend to close up a bit.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
I've definitely been perceived as cold, which I'm not. You're not wrong, but I think people who do know me would not describe me as a cold person.
No.
Just not. I don't know. I just don't bullshit. So I'm not gonna put on a show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to pretend to be a more animated version of myself if I'm not feeling it.
I think I used to. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just think that I think I used to think that I had to do that. And because I was funny, because people found me funny and entertaining, they thought I was just like that all the time. And I thought that I had to kind of keep up that mask of sanity, so to speak. And now I'm like, oh, I can just be myself. I don't have to be any certain way around anybody. I think I placed these really high expectations on myself that perhaps no one else was placing on me. It was
probably
just
nobody
me.
else was placing on you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but I just realizing that people. I think I internalize that a lot of my worth as a person and my merit as a person, and the reason that people wanted to hang out with me would only be if I was funny. If I was being entertaining, right? Like, if that's what I was contributing. And then I realized, like, oh, no, the people that love me just want to hang out with me because
because you're cool.
Because I'm, yes, exactly. Because I'm a cool lady. Oh, yeah.
And you're a fucking weirdo, which I love.
Thank you. That's so kind.
Like, I mean, I do actually mean that as a compliment.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Like, some, like, Anne-Marie and I still laugh about, there was one time, I don't know if you remember this, we got donuts or something, and we were like walking, and you're like, what did you say? You're like, I just want to be a witch, and then you just like did like a kick, or you said something like that, and I was like, I'm seeing the true like Erica here. Okay.
Yeah, because I feel so energized hanging out with people that I really enjoy. Like, that is when I'm really like goofy and funny, but a lot of people I'm like, no, you don't deserve my goofiness.
Well,
Screw you.
I like when people let down their guard, and I can see like
I love me letting down my guards. I just want to be a witch.
Like, it was something like that. Or I mean, we were at Yuma. This was a while ago now. And we went to, what was the name of that mansion? The haunted mansion.
The Whitney.
Yeah. And I don't. Would you like me to share this anecdote, or would you like me to not?
I don't know which one it is, but sure, go
the
for
one
it.
where you were just on the swing, and you're like, hello, oh, I do hope no werewolves are about, to snatch me. And I was like, this is.
And I said, me, a virgin. I was like, my virginity is all I have. Like, I'm yelling into the back of them.
Yeah, this is like midnight in like Detroit. Like, it was just on like a tire swing or whatever the fuck you're on. I was like, yeah, no, this is true Erica essence, and I'm glad I can witness it.
Thank you.
Now, I always ask, so for each of you, is there a question you want to ask the group, or a topic you want to bring up?
That.
I would ask, like, I actually think both of you have a really good work-life balance, it feels like. Like, I feel like you guys have really, your priorities are super chill and cool and awesome, and that's something that I think a lot of people lose being in the entertainment industry.
Fair.
And I'm just wondering, like, how you guys have always been so cool and chill.
My husband would absolutely disagree with you. He's always like, oh, Laura, you need to hang out with me more, though. And I'm like, I know, I love you. I'm sorry. I've got a lot of things going on.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I do try to like I'm really, ever since like high school, I've been really good about like setting aside times for things. I'm a little bit, I think that it's one of the ways like I release my anxiety is kind of like you having control over your environment. It's me having control over my time. So
I agree. Time is really important to me now.
Yeah.
I do not like it when people mess with my time. No.
But so I think that's how I manage it, is just because I'm literally micromanaging it. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'd say that's me with my work-life balance.
Yeah, I think for me it's just selfishness, honestly. Like I'll explain. Like basically, there's so many things outside of work that I want to do, like in my personal life, like for fun, like board games, or I've been doing escape rooms with people, or I want to go to restaurants. Like there are things that I'm a very like goal-oriented person in my free time as well. Like got to do the top 100 games, got to do this, I want to do this. Like there's only so much time in my life, and I want to experience like all these things, and so I have a lot of checklists.
You do. I notice when we go out to eat, you always want to know where we're going. Like you want to know, and you want to look at the reviews, and if you don't like it, you're going to pick somewhere else because you only have a finite amount of time on this earth, and you want to eat at like a banging restaurant.
I don't know if I will be like, we have to eat somewhere else.
No, of course not. But you'll be like, this doesn't look like it's going to be good. Maybe we could go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like maybe we could. Whereas I'm just like, I feel like I was just like living like, I don't know, meal to meal, like friggin' Smeagol for like so many years. Like I just was like, I was just surviving as opposed to going, oh no, like I can pick these, I can choose what to do with my time. Like I feel like micromanage has a really negative connotation, but I think in a way, like when you only have a finite amount of it, sometimes, you do need to micromanage it and go, okay, if I'm going to go out to eat, I'm going to go somewhere really yummy. Or like, if we're going to do board game night, how many people do we have? What do we want to play? What is Erica's, what is the highest level of difficulty that Erica LINDBECK can play such that she won't?
Okay, this one will be good.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I love micromanaging. I don't think it's like, I mean, obviously, depending on the person, it can be maybe debilitating. But for me personally, I really enjoy that sort of thing. I value my free time very much. Like I have the luxury where I can decide, like, okay, like 9 to 5 or whatever, that's work time.
Yeah.
Evenings, unless the studio is like, you can only do it evenings, I always push. I'm like, I can do this. I'm free before 5, like pretty much any time this day. Like I never offer my evenings. I have definitely turned down stuff. It's like, we can only do Saturday. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, I don't care
that's
much.
a big, that is a thing that like I only started doing in the last couple years of going, hey, actually, I'm 8 hours a day the 2 days before this. Is there any way that we could do it next week instead or something like that? And I used to never dream of asking that because you're so terrified as an actor. You're like, oh no, I just want to work. I always need to be available. And it's like, no, like what is all of this for? If you're just always scared to like go on vacation, like why are you working? Why are you like making money if you're not going to like do fun things with it? Live your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, as actors, like the experiences we get from living our life are important to help feed us as actors. Like,
That's also very
acting is
true.
just being a human under different circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to close that. I feel like you both have actually had you both have been kind of touchstones for me. I've known Laura for longer than I've known you, Sungwon, but like Laura's always been someone who I've referenced as like, Laura just like seems, I'm sure I know you get nervous and you get stressed out and you get anxious about work and stuff like that. But you've always from the get-go just been somebody who I have seen to just have your priorities straight. Like I've been saying for the last couple of years, I'm like, when I'm on my deathbed, I am not going to go, but I was in Final Fantasy VII. Like, nobody. Like,
Are you
I'm
sure,
not
though?
gonna care
I mean,
about-
it's Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly. Sorry. Wrong example. No, but I just like nobody's gonna care about that. Like, I'm gonna remember like all the nights we spent playing board games, or like, just like the things I did with my family and the people that I loved and like the trips I took and all of that, as opposed to and like the moments that I shared with the people I loved.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Anywho, okay.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great question, and it just boils down to I like my me time, and also I like the people I spend the time with, so I have to have that. If I were, theoretically booking every single thing I always wanted, but that's all I was doing and I had no time to myself, I would not be happy.
No, yeah.
You'd be miserable. That was me for a couple years. I was taking every single job I got, and I was working 8 hours a day on something, and my voice was always shot, and I was absolutely miserable. And then I started saying no, which was one of the scariest decisions I ever made, but I have literally like never been more like settled. I love how I just talked about how I'm so affected by my environment. I'm crazy, but I right now I definitely feel I'm seeing the effects of the power of no out of the last like couple of years for me.
That's me with directing, too. Like, people be like, why don't you direct more? And I'm like, because I regret it every time, because it murders me every time. The only one that has, like, actually fit well into my schedule actually was Pokemon Twilight Wings. Because they were short and they were spread out, and so it was, like, fine. But usually when you're directing something, it's like, hey, okay, so the next 4 weeks, you're going to be directing 8 to 10 hours a day. And, also you have to be doing your voiceover somewhere around all of that. Have fun, figure it out. And it's the worst.
I cannot imagine. I know some people who act, adapt, and direct, and I'm just like, how do you do that?
No.
How do you do that?
I can't.
Yeah.
And I do
get
not
asked a
adapt.
lot.
So that's really time consuming.
Yeah, I get asked a lot, like, are you interested in other, jobs in the industry, like writing or directing or casting or whatever? And directing, I'm like, it seems like, I think it seems cool, but the time commitment.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Time commitment is
like,
just.
I super don't regret the jobs that I did decide to take on. Like I loved working on Little Witch. But one of the best things about Little Witch was that when I agreed to do Little Witch, because I had already done one job prior to that, but that project never got released, so it never gets named, I went, I can do this, but I need Lucian to do it with me because I can't commit to this length of a show for this amount of time and not have someone that I can also schedule so that I can keep doing voiceover, because that's what I'm most passionate about. Like, I love directing, but I love voiceover. So that was the best thing about Little Witch. But like, I loved doing Pokemon and, the other projects I've worked on. Fun. But yeah, it's just when I'm in it, I'm like, why did I do this to myself? I have no time. Like, I just need I need things more spread out. It's directing is a very time intensive job, even though it's very fulfilling and rewarding. So
Damn.
Yeah.
Laura, did you have something you wanted to ask or bring up?
I don't know.
No, I mean, it's okay if you don't have anything.
Nothing comes to mind.
Gotcha. I am thinking about what I am doing soon. I'm going to Disney soon.
Oh, hey, so am I. When are you going? Well, you can't really say. Well, I'll have to ask you later. Maybe we're going the same day.
It won't really matter because there's
That's fair. I am going this coming Thursday.
I'm going this coming Wednesday.
Dope.
So we'll just miss each other.
Yeah.
But the food. Although we should have all three of us. No. The three of us, have we gone to Disney together?
No, we haven't. We almost did that first time that you and I hung out.
Oh, that's right. But then Erica bailed on us.
Yeah.
Wait, who bailed?
You did.
You.
Wait, I did?
Yeah.
When did I bail? What? When?
This was ages ago.
Yeah, it was like 2019, October 2019. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
I'm
it
sorry
was
I
the first
bailed.
time that someone
Listen.
and I like met, which also, and we hung out the entire day. We mentioned it on
Yeah.
the last podcast, so we don't have to go through the whole thing again. But it
Right,
was
but
a crazy day.
Well,
It was
I'm
a crazy
hoe,
day and
clearly.
proof that I was like, okay, I can get along with you really well because this was such a risk. Like,
Yeah.
if you,
I do not understand people who are Disney fanatics, but I am friends with them, and when I do get invited, I generally go because
no, I've
I'm
gone
like,
with you.
Yeah,
I went with
no,
you
I
and,
know.
It was probably like
Michelle.
legit. You had something to do.
oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, totally, totally. I was just talking about philosophically, like I don't understand, but I also enjoy going with people who really enjoy Disney because I find that I have a better time because they're like, let's get all this food, and I'm like, well, I love food.
Yeah.
Food is the great equalizer. Everybody loves food, or like, I don't know.
Well,
I
as
think
a Disney casual, what's your favorite ride?
Haunted Mansion.
I mean,
It's a good choice.
I'm a
Great
spooky.
choice.
I'm a
That's great
spooky
choice.
lady.
Do you,
I
do
love
you
spooky
like
things.
classic or Nightmare Before Christmas skin?
The Nightmare Before Christmas one's really good. I think I'd have to go with classic though.
Yeah, I really
but-
love
well,
classic a lot.
If I have a free day, I'm not like, let's go to Disney. Like I have to emotionally like gird myself. Like I have to prepare myself. That's why it's nice because you Disney people always plan it. You're like, we're going on this day.
Yeah.
Get your ticket, and I'm like, okay, I have time to emotionally prepare myself for the day. And then I always end up having a really good time. But yeah, no, I'm sure that was my point. I'm sure if I didn't go, I probably had a really good reason.
Yeah.
Because I generally, because I go so infrequently that I'm like, when people do want to go, I'm like, yes, I will do it. I'll go my 1 or 2 times a year.
Then to ask you this, then what if on your free days, besides just like, because everyone has free days where they just kind of chill out at home. But if you're gonna, let's say you're gonna quote unquote do something on a free day, what's something that you get really excited about? What is your your jam?
I really like just going out to eat and like going
Yeah.
and getting some really good coffee and hiking and then playing video games or like board games. We're really into board games right now, so we'll just like sit and play Patchwork or Star Realms.
Recommended
or
by
something.
me to Billy.
I know. Yeah, we played
yeah.
Patchwork this morning. It's great. But yeah,
It's a
or just
very
see
good
friends,
game.
like go to Little Tokyo, get some food. It's all around like food or coffee for me all the time,
Gotcha.
always. Yeah.
Then describe your ideal restaurant. Do you have like a favorite restaurant or a type of restaurant?
I love sushi so much. It makes me want to die. So
Okay.
I would say probably if I had to pick, it would be sushi or a really good breakfast, like a really good like crab Benedict or something like that. Yeah.
What's your sushi order?
Well, I've been getting more. You're the one that's like, well, you don't like raw fish, right?
Yeah,
So
Erica,
I'm
you and I
because
are sushi soulmates, but it's okay if you've
Yeah.
evolved past me.
I think I may have. I'm getting really into like, I really love like the spicy tuna rice cakes.
Okay.
Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like with spicy tuna on top, and it's like crispy rice with spicy tuna and like
Okay,
some
yeah,
jalapeno
yeah.
on top. Like those are really good. I really like a good like 911 roll, or they're called 911 rolls out here. Yeah, I love spicy tuna, so that's like my thing.
Got it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if I have a specific. I usually just will pick something that's looks good on the menu that has like, I don't know if there's a specific name of a roll that I love.
And Laura, you're not a big sushi person?
I don't. Well, I mean, when we go to sushi, it's like, okay, what are the ones that are cooked or veggie? Because I don't really like raw fish. I don't like raw meat in general.
It has to be really good raw fish if I'm gonna do raw fish. That's kind of what I'm not gonna go to like a basic bitch sushi place and get a bunch of raw fish. Like
Fair.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things of like, I didn't grow up with it because my mom had a lot of food phobias. So that's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like it's just, no, I'm good. I'm good with things that are cooked. So, and that's fine. But I also
Now,
don't
do
go around saying I like sushi because I know that would just be a lie. But I do love Japanese curry. So,
Japanese curry
love
is great.
Japanese curry. I love
Would you
all
say
curry,
it's
but
a food phobia or just a?
it's not a
I just don't
phobia.
really like
It's
it. I
more
just don't
of
like
a-
it that much.
Yeah. Like if it was like, you have to eat this or you will perish, I'll eat it. It's fine. It's just more of a like, well, I'd rather not. And usually most places you go, you can find something that appeals. Like
Sure.
that's probably vegetarian, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, even just like a tamago, just egg.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
those are great.
obviously I've had California rolls, I've had caterpillar rolls, I've had various tempura rolls. Like, it's fine. There's lots of stuff with avocado and
Gotcha. So you're going into curry.
yeah, I like all curry, but I like Japanese curry. Probably my favorite.
Yesterday, a friend of mine made an oxtail curry with katsu, and it was...
Oh, my goodness.
It was really, really fucking good.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I don't know if either of you are oxtail fans at all, but it's...
I don't eat meat except for fish, so.
Well, there you
That's right. Okay.
go.
Wait, I thought we had this... Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no,
Laura.
I have had oxtail at, I think, a Jamaican place, like oxtail curry. And it was good.
So this whole... Maybe I'm misremembering, Erica. So this whole time you haven't eaten meat. It's just that now you eat fish. Sometimes.
Yes, I've been pescatarian for like 10 years.
I see. Okay, gotcha. My dad is pescatarian as well. And he's been like forever, like his whole life pretty much. And so for you, is it like just because for my dad, I think he doesn't like he just feels bad for the animals. That's actually why.
I do feel bad for the but also I just don't like meat. Like it's just not. I'm just not big on it. I do really love fish. It also makes it a lot easier to eat out because, like, if you go to a steakhouse or something, you go, oh, I'll just have the fish. I'm not super into the taste. Also, obviously, I mean, I would like more ethical, laws in place for the animals.
Sure.
But it's definitely like twofold. It's not just one or the other. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm just not super into it. It kind of makes me feel ugh. But I eat like eggs and stuff and cheese and all that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anne-Marie will like, she does like meat a lot, but sometimes it does make her ill, and so she'll be like, I gotta like maybe like take it easy for a while, and she's like switched on and off over the years.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just an evil carnivore.
Oh my gosh.
You're a meat boy.
That's me, super meat boy. Yeah. What games have you been playing lately?
Dead by Daylight. Oh, I played Mario Party yesterday, and it was really fun.
Mario Party.
Was it the new one on Switch?
Yes, yeah. It was really fun.
Okay, actually, let's see if we can guess each other. Don't say who you play in because we all have a Mario Party character we play as, correct?
Oh,
Don't say their name. No?
Yeah.
You don't have you do?
I've got, it's sort of a toss-up,
Okay. Let's try to guess each other's Mario Party character. This is something that I always find interesting to find out.
I don't know if I know all of the characters.
But do you have a character that you play as?
Yeah,
but she won't be able to guess ours if she doesn't know them all. You could just describe what it looks like if you want to try that.
Do you play as like Peach?
Me?
Someone?
Oh, someone.
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, nothing wrong with Peach, but
Luigi?
No.
Maybe?
How dare you? No. You're just listing off the characters you know, aren't you?
That inflection. You're just listing off the characters you know.
I do not play as Peach or Luigi. I mean, Laura, do you have a guess?
For you?
Yes.
Sorry, apparently I have gardeners outside. I apologize. Wario?
That is absolutely correct.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Ew.
ew.
Nailed
Ew.
Ew.
Oh
What do you
god,
mean,
he's so
Wario's,
weird.
Wario's hilarious in Mario Party.
He
He's
and Waluigi
beautiful.
are just so.
Are you thinking of Waluigi?
They're both gross. Yeah, I said Wario and Waluigi. They're just gnarly. I don't like them.
Damn.
They're little
This is-
gremlins.
See, this is where like we've rated anime characters together. We can never agree. We can never truly agree.
No.
Laura, are you a Rosalina?
Yes, now that she is an option.
But that wasn't your go-to before.
Well, I mean, I've been playing Mario Party since the first Mario Party.
So then is it Peach?
Yeah, I mean, when I was like a kid.
Peach is awesome.
When I was a kid, it was very, let's all fight over who gets to be Peach, and Peach has gold
Nice.
But
Okay.
my favorite, she's not in, at least the last time I played Mario Party, she wasn't available. My favorite character to play as is neither Rosalina nor Princess Peach, if you want to try and guess for like Mario Party stuff.
She's not in the new Superstars Mario Party?
No, at least last time I tried to play it, or last time I played it at a friend's, I didn't see her, so I picked Rosalina. Or I might have actually picked Daisy because I think someone else picked Rosalina, but whatever. But like in Mario Kart, I always pick this person if it helps. So
Wendy?
no.
Who the fuck? Because Birdo's in it. All 3 princesses are in it. Erica has like no idea what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. I play. Who do I play?
Yeah.
I'll get back to this, Laura.
Yeah.
So, Erica, you play as Daisy.
No, I
Peach.
really like. No,
No, don't say.
Yeah, I have to make a guess too.
Or is it one of the princesses? Is it Rosalina?
No.
Is it?
It's
Is
Birdo.
it Birdo? Yeah.
No.
Yoshi?
Yeah. I
You're
love
a
him.
Yoshi?
He's so cute.
He is
I mean,
cute.
he is very cute.
He's so adorable. I was like, that's my boy yesterday. I was like, there he is. As of yesterday, I have a main in Mario Party.
Okay. Laura, you play a female character who's not in...
Or at least, okay, I didn't see her when on the character select screen. Maybe she
Is
has
it
to be
Pauline?
unlocked. No.
I mean, she's not in very many of them at all. What the fuck? I'm losing my mind.
I mean,
now.
I'm wondering if maybe she was there and I didn't see her. Or,
Toadette.
Yes, my girl.
Oh, you know who Toadette is, Erica?
No.
Oh,
Is
she's
it a
so
toad?
cute. Yeah, well,
You know
she's
who Toad
pink
is?
and she's got little pink pigtail braids and she's basically
Googling
girl
this.
Toad.
Oh, she's super cute.
Yeah, right? I love her.
This has big Laura Posty energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
No, Toadette's a good... Yeah, like Double Dash. Yeah. I totally forgot. I have not kept up with the latest Mario Party, so I don't know who's playable and what.
Yeah, I just remembered not seeing her. So that's why I was like, maybe she was there and I didn't see her. Maybe she needs to be unlocked. I don't know.
No, I don't think she's in it.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't see her, so I defaulted to Daisy because one of the other people playing with me was Rosalina. So I was like, all right, if Rosalina is your main, I'm not like that married to her. I can do Daisy.
Sure. So I don't know if either of you know how much of my attachment to Mario. Do you know my history with Mario?
No.
I don't think I
Either of
do.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for those who listen to the podcast, you've heard this, but you did not know that I met Anne Marie through
Wait,
Mario,
I did know that.
a Mario fanfiction.
Oh
community.
no, I think we might have talked about that on our first trip at Disney because we had a whole fan fiction conversation.
I think it definitely came up. Yeah. So Mario is it's real close to my heart. So Erica, I'm just curious. If I linked a character to you, would you be able to name that character?
Are you gonna do it right now?
I think we're gonna maybe try it. Just maybe just one or two. I just want to see if you can name them.
I'm stoked.
What the hell?
Are you linking it in the Discord?
I'll link it in the Discord. Yeah.
Okay.
This is something I normally do with like my mom, but
Great.
we'll do it here. I mean, Laura, how about you? You think of a character, I'll think of a character.
Okay.
And then we'll see if Erica can name what this character's name is.
Am I trying to find something obscure?
Try to stump her. Don't put like Mario in.
Why has this become? What has this become?
It's become what it's become. I'm curious. I don't know if you'll know who this is. I want to see. And no cheating either. Here's my submission. I'll for the listeners, I'll say who it is. Obviously, after she guesses. Who's this?
That's Donkey Kong.
Wait, is that your actual guess?
No, it was. It's not Donkey Kong, is it?
This is not Donkey Kong.
Is it Baby Donkey?
That's a good guess.
Oh,
but
it's
no.
Diddy Kong?
Oh, so you know Diddy Kong. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot believe I remember that.
Donkey King. All right.
Donkey.
Laura, do you have one?
Yeah. It's a middle of the road, not the hardest
Okay.
ever to guess. I'm just trying to find. I'm looking at how you linked it into.
There's a thing called
Okay.
Google Images.
No. But I was like, did you link to a page? Did you link to?
Somewhat.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
did you
I just linked the image.
Yeah.
You're a butt.
Yeah.
There's this thing called
Google
Images.
that you could use. Yeah, thanks.
just thought I'd help out.
Oh my gosh.
Put it into upload file, desktop.
And then as we're doing this,
it's gonna
if
like.
either
well,
of
we'll
you,
see what
if
happens.
either of you can think of what's something
There.
That's
okay.
Boo.
Okay.
That's Boo? Just Boo?
Boo Boo.
Boo Boo.
Booby.
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 If you had to guess what this character's name was, what do you think it would be?
I thought it was Boo.
It is. He is a boo.
Oh, is that his species?
His species is Boo.
That's King Boo.
There you go. Yeah.
There you
Wait,
go.
actually? For real?
Yeah.
Oh,
King Boo.
okay.
Yeah.
Bravo.
I like Boovie.
I like Boobie too.
Not Queen Boo, huh? It's got to be a king.
It looks like a boy Boo.
Okay. Now, can either of you think of a fandom or something that the other two might not know? Like, and see if they can name the character. Is there anything you can think of? For example,
Hellsing. Do you guys know Hellsing?
I do not know Hellsing.
Okay, Erica, you find a Hellsing character.
Okay, and then...
and then Laura, say if you can think of anything.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always very interested.
Do you know Hellsing, Simon?
I do know Hellsing, so if you pull up an obscure one, you might stump me. But I know all the main guys.
Oh man, hold on.
What am I? It's funny when something like this happens. I'm like, what am I a fan of? What do I know about? I don't know about anything. Yeah.
Or played
do
anything?
I watch any media ever?
It could be something like, you're in, like.
Well, yeah. What about? I mean,
All right, I'm dropping this one in, Laura. I do not think you will know.
Oh, I'm sure. Look, if it's
Do you think
not,
I will know?
I don't.
You could
I
probably
don't know.
put in a picture of Hellsing, and I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know who
this
he
is? An
is?
obscure one.
Yeah, and
No,
I know his
don't
name.
know
I
who
knew
it
it before
is.
I looked it up.
He's
Okay.
He's
Who do you think his name is?
Federico
Ooh.
Ramon. I don't know.
I love that name.
Thank you.
I was gonna do Jan Valentine, but I was like, that's too easy. Someone will know
That's
that.
too easy. Okay. Doesn't he? This guy calls himself like, I'm the dandy, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not his name. His name's not
And
like.
when he hits Alucard with a bunch of he's in Hellsing Ultimate. He hits Alucard with cards. He's very Gambit like.
Yeah.
and then
at first I was gonna say, but this is not it because it's a completely different character. I was
Yeah.
like, Pip Bernadotte. I was like, that's a different guy.
No.
That's
And also, there's a really, really good scene where Alucard kind of retreats for a minute and he's like, I can't stop bleeding. And he's like not used to that. Like the cards are enchanted in some way and he can't stop bleeding. And so he finds this guy very interesting because he's like, I haven't bled this much in such a long time.
Does this guy have just like a last name? First name, last name?
First name, last name, yeah.
Can you give me the first letter of each?
T.A.
Tits and ass.
Yeah, that's him.
Wow, I'm not.
It's so funny because like I guess I'm just a massive Hellsing fan to know.
No,
who
yeah,
this
is what I want. This is the kind of shit I want you to submit.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it? This is. But is his nickname like Dandy? Like I'm the Dan, or does he say Dandy? Why am I thinking the word Dandy?
Yeah, he does like Dandy Man. I think that's what Alucard calls him, but that's not his name.
What the fuck is this guy? T what? T.
Yeah, his code name is Dandy Man. Yeah.
Okay, so I know I remember that.
Yeah.
What the first name? T what? T.
T-A. Like T. The first. His first name starts with the letter T, and his last name starts with the letter A.
But I'm asking for the second letter of the first name.
Oh, T-U.
What?
You're not gonna get it. It's
Tug
a weird
is a
one.
Tug?
What?
Tug?
Yeah, his name is Tug.
What TU names are there? Okay, how about the A? A what? What's for the last name?
A-L.
Alhambra?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Something Alhambra?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tugboat?
I like Federico better.
But yes, his name is Tugboat Alhambra.
Tums. It's like. Oh no. That's
Tunisia.
It's like Tulhumbra Alhambra or something like that, right?
No, it's not.
Tumbert?
I really like
His name is Tumbert.
What? Okay, what's the next letter?
B.
Tub? Tub
Tubert?
Alhambra? Tubert?
His name is not Tub.
Tub.
Those are the first three letters.
Tubert.
No.
Tuber.
His name is Tub.
Okay, next TUB what?
Oh my God, A. I hate
What?
it here.
Wait, is his name Tuba Alhambra?
Tuba Alhambra?
No.
Tobias?
The idea that his name is Tobias, like Tubias.
TUBA, what's next? Let's keep going.
L.
Oh, it's like Tubal Cain.
Yeah, it's Tubal
Okay.
Cain Alhambra.
Tubal Cain Alhambra.
I
Yeah.
really wish that this could have kept going.
Yeah,
but I remember
he's an
that.
artificial vampire, and he's a badass, and he's a very short scene, but it's really cool.
No, I remember this guy, but oh
Yeah.
my god. Tubal Cain Alhambra.
Tubal Cain Alhambra.
I think his name's actually Tugboat Alhambra.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm pretty sure.
Tobias.
Tobias, yeah.
Laura, do you have one?
How well do you guys know Batman the Animated Series / Batman?
I know it
Not
well.
super
but
well.
But let's
Okay.
try it. Yeah.
All right, I've got one.
It might have to be an
Let's see.
obscure one to stump
It's
me.
a 1 episode one, so it's not like oh yeah, that's Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay. And yeah,
So
this
we'll see.
might stump me for sure.
Okay.
Are you a big nerd about the animated series?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay.
I like her episode a lot.
Oh,
I
I
don't-
recognize her, but I have absolutely no idea.
I don't recognize her at all. Is she? This is the original, right?
This is, I mean, it's Batman the Animated Series. I think this episode came out with New Adventures, technically, which is like the 4th season of Batman the Animated Series.
Is she
/
like-
World Finest when they were like doing Batman and Superman or the Batman Superman Adventures. Has a lot of different names.
This isn't like Zatanna, is it?
No.
She's giving
This
me
is
Zatanna
not
vibes.
related to. Is it Batman Beyond where they have like?
No,
we're
it's
the
not
Royal
Batman
Flush?
Beyond. It is Batman
We're
the
not-
Animated Series. It's
But
it's
the
part
Royal
of,
Flush Gang is like.
no, yeah, that's Batman Beyond,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can see where you would think that.
Is it like a one-word name, like
She's
Catwoman, or is it like a regular first last name?
it's 2 words, but you're correct in that like the last one is like woman, lady, girl, etc. But they're just not mashed together like Catwoman.
It's one of those, woman, lady, girl.
Yes, I will give you that.
Okay. All right, Erica, we got to guess who this
Oh
is.
my God, I have no idea.
Doll
Eyeless
woman.
lady.
What did you say, Erica?
Eyeless lady.
Eyeless lady. I heard iris
Doll
lady.
woman.
Doll woman. It is.
Oh, no, don't tell us. We got to keep
Okay,
going.
keep going then. Okay, you guys are not close.
We got a tuba this. We got a tuba.
There's kind of a
Alhambra
hint
this.
in her earrings.
Ooh.
Kind of.
Candy corn.
Candy corn lady.
Cornucopia woman.
Okay, give us this. Is it woman, lady, or girl?
Girl.
Girl.
And it's a phrase you would hear in the world, if that helps. Like it's not like, oh, you would only hear that in
Batman.
Batman. Yeah, it's like a pun
clever,
kind of
like,
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Snake girl, baby girl, Wonder Girl. What's the first letter?
C.
Cobra girl. I can't. Those look like snakes to me. Something like a curled snake. No. Cornucopia. No one says cornucopia girl. Candy girl.
Everyone says, "Oh, Candy Girl." You're
No.
Candy Woman.
I don't want to say you're on the right track, but you are closer than you were with Snake. Wonder if I can find her in some other costumes.
Yeah, even the. Oh, she has other costumes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Costume girl.
No.
Call girl.
No.
Cabaret girl. What the fuck? Erica, do you have anything?
I don't know. I really have no idea.
What's the second letter?
Here's A. There's another costume for you.
Okay, I think I know it now.
Okay.
But do you know, Erica?
Absolutely not.
So for listeners, the first picture is of her with that's funny. Yellow, orange, and brown earrings. The second, she's wearing a American hat, like an Uncle Sam hat. So, Erica, think of something that starts with a C. I'm going to guess, theoretically, she could have like 12 costumes, maybe? something like that.
Yeah,
if
I don't think she
theoretically-
has 12.
Oh, Calendar Girl?
Calendar
Yes.
Girl.
Oh, cool.
What the hell? I know Calendar Man. Is this like a spin-off? Like, is that like...
I don't read the comics as much as I watched that animated series. So I don't know if she's a original to the animated series character like Harley Quinn, but she's an ex-model that like she wears the mask because she considers herself disfigured, but like at the end of the episode when they finally take the mask off, she looks completely gorgeous. And it's like, wow, she's beautiful, but she can't see it anymore. Like that's like the end of the episode. And she also, there's one part where like she's got this because she's like kidnapped a bunch of models and whatever, and one girl's like, no, I'm too young to die. She's like, sweetie, you're never too thin and you're never too young. I just love her. Like she's just so like jaded. I like
This
that
is
episode.
great.
It's a really good episode. Side note.
Yeah, I'm less familiar with the new Batman Adventures for sure. But I do kind of want to go through and like watch like all of it. Like, do you have like a favorite era? Is it like the classic? Like, do you like this one a little better? Like, what is it?
That's
for
hard
you?
to say. I probably like the new adventures best because it had more Batgirl than original.
Okay, cool.
But the episodes that Batgirl's in of the original are like really good episodes. Also, there's something to be said for the original art style versus the newer, like sleeker, more simplified art style.
Yeah,
that was
they
in
kind of
like, last
redesigned the
season.
villains and
Yeah.
stuff in that. Yeah.
But also the new adventures had Over the Edge, which is like the best episode ever. So
Which one's Over
hard.
the Edge?
That's the one where Batgirl dies and like falls off the building and lands on her dad's cop car, and it's like really intense. Oh my god, that one's
Damn.
so good. It's a real good episode.
Whoa, I forgot you're a big Barbara Gordon
Yep.
stan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for would it be fair to say for Erica it's Hellsing and for you it's Batgirl?
Yeah, probably. I have an entire shelf of Batgirl figures and dolls, and
Nice.
I love her.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for indulging me on that. And yeah, I think
Yeah, of course.
we can wrap it up here. This is another good one. I'll always remember Tugboat
Alhambra.
Alhambra.
I just
Tugboat
love
Alhambra.
his name is Tub?
Tubert?
I do like
Tubert.
Tubert.
Schubert, I'm done.
But where can people find you? We'll start with you, Laura.
Laura Post Voice. That's my name on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch. I don't have a TikTok or anything else, so that's it. That's where you find me.
Cool.
For me, it's just Erica LINDBECK on Instagram and Twitter.
Fantastic.
Twitch.
Well, thank you too, and let's go to Disney sometime.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.